Toddler Tantrum Top Tip. View them as dementia patients. My name's Ruth, I'm a health visitor in England. Let's get into it. Now, I have seen this hint and tip before, but somebody just reminded me of it. I'm going to tag her profile. She's a neuroscientist and she's got some fantastic information on there about toddler brain development, baby brain development, and why it's so important. Now, as health visitors, there's a document that shapes our practice, and it is called the 1001 Days. Now, this video is not going to specifically be about that. If you want me to do a video on that, I can, or I'm sure this other page does. It's basically about how the first 3 years of a baby's life, including when they're in utero, are the most vital for shaping baby brain development and who they are going to become as adults, which is terrifying as a parent. Now, whilst their brain is going through this massive process where they are pruning and strengthening pathways, so the more we respond to babies and the more love we give and the more empathy and the more kindness, we are going to be strengthening pathways that are going to help with their relationships in the future forever and ever and ever. Terrifying, I know, but true. Now, this profile reminded me that we should be trying to view our children when they're particularly emotionally dysregulated, and even on other occasions view them like dementia patients, because that will hopefully breed a little bit more empathy and patience in us, because don't I know it, I've never felt so emotionally dysregulated myself when trying to handle my children and their own emotional dysregulation. It can be incredibly triggering. Now, if we remind ourselves that their brain is developing so rapidly, they have minimal impulse control. Oh, this isn't working. They have minimal impulse control and they just cannot regulate their own emotions. Finished it off camera. So she reminds us that when their brains are developing as rapidly as they are, they're actually very similar to when our brains are degenerating, like dementia and Alzheimer's patients. And it's about, they present with very, very similar symptoms of when they're degenerating to when they are progressing and growing. So next time you are really struggling, I urge you to pretend they are a dementia patient. And how would you handle that person? And maybe you'd have a little bit more empathy. I'm not saying you're not an empathic parent, because at times I really lose my cool as well, but I'm going to try this tip myself. Remember, stay calm, stay cool. Your calmness is your superpower. I do have a £5 guide. Its link is in my bio, and it helps parents with managing their own emotions and handling their children's when they're dysregulated, the behaviours that we don't want to be seeing. Now, just because I've said we can be kind and calm and empathetic with them when they're behaving a certain way, we still have to be boundaried, and we still have to be consistent with our boundaries, and we're still there to discipline and educate them on how to behave, particularly when they're emotionally dysregulated. You are allowed to feel cross, you're allowed to feel sad. We're labelling that as much as possible, but I'm not going to let you hit. You're not allowed to throw, you're not allowed to snatch. We still need to be teaching them how to behave. So please take a look at my behaviour guide. The reviews speak for themselves. I'm sending you lots of love, and I hope you have a lovely Christmas.